Had the marriage conversation with the girlfriend. My mom is on disability and raised me through tough times. She sacrificed a lot and she's very dear to me. My girlfriend is very determined to move soon, and I want to as well. I knew she wanted to move from the beginning of the relationship. It sucks to leave my mom behind, but it's part of life, I guess. Lately, we've been having conversations about marriage, and she was asking questions comparing my mom and her. For example, if my mom wanted me to stay just for emotional reasons, would I stay? I said no, as my commitment is to you, etc. If my mom got hit by a car, then I'd stay until she gets healthy, etc. The girlfriend is fine with that and understanding. Today, she asked what I think is a little bit of a messed up question. If she was giving birth and was due in a week and my mom got hit by a car, who would I pick? I said that's a pretty difficult question that no guy can answer clearly right away. She's adamant that the answer should be very clear and it's her. Not going to lie, the fact that she even asked this question makes me doubt who I'm dating. I get that the wife is number one, but it still feels messed up. You guys are firing on all cylinders to the point where I don't know who to answer and where to start. I'll repost this with much more context. Thank you, everyone, for sharing and responding. Story 1. She knows your mom has a disability and needs help from you. She should be thinking about how both of you can navigate such situations, not competing. Story 2. When I am asked questions like this, my answer is, I will do what I honestly feel is right at the time. If she cannot deal with that answer, I am not the man for her. Story 3. If your story is legitimate, then you need to consider parting ways with your girlfriend. Your partner is supposed to be your teammate in taking care of both your families. The me versus your mom stuff is ridiculous. Story 4. I refuse to deal with questions like that. I know it's probably a way to deal with an insecurity or whatever, but I won't get baited into something that doesn't have a right answer or is just there to stir up trouble. I told my significant other early on in our relationship that she should not expect me to engage with questions of that sort because I find them so manipulative. She can ask me the actual question she wants to ask, but not that proxy question she asks instead. Story 5. No, your wife isn't automatically number one. Number one is the person in greatest need. Having been through the girlfriend versus wife versus everybody situation a few times, I can say that this is not going to end well unless she learns to check her inflated sense of self-importance. Your sense of doubt is well-founded. I'm not saying to run, but I'm absolutely saying not to move forward until this issue is firmly resolved. The fact that she's inventing imaginary situations where someone else might temporarily be a higher priority is already troubling. In practice, here's how this is going to roll out. She will expect to be your first and only priority ever all the time. You will get hit over the head with this possessiveness over and over again. Want to go hang out with a friend that you haven't seen in a while? Why are you spending time with so-and-so? You haven't spent quality time with me. Now it's a fight if you want to make plans or follow through with them. This will, one by one, kill every one of your friendships and familial relationships until she's satisfied, if she's satisfied. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but the absurdity of the giving birth or car wreck scenario makes me suspect that this insecurity and possessiveness runs deep. If she's setting you up for a fight about imaginary issues, it's not much of a leap to think you'll be fighting regularly about real-life situations. I don't want to come off as anti-marriage or as if I'm against your girlfriend. I'm not. I will say that this issue will get 10 times bigger overnight once you get married. Fix it now, and if this can't be fixed, I would strongly suggest that you do not take one more step forward with her. This is the thing that you're going to get divorced over or that is going to make you miserable for your entire life. Story 6. Hey friend, I am not a man, so if you really just want men's opinions, then please disregard. It sounds like one of two things is true. Either your girlfriend is a psycho with possession issues, or she has real concerns about your relationship with your mother and is articulating them poorly. Only you know her, so only you can say which you think it is. If it's the first one, you need to decide if that's a deal breaker. It's okay if it is. If it's the second one, then it's time to kill these hypotheticals and get to the real issue. Your girlfriend, for whatever reason, does not have confidence that she will be the priority in a marriage with you. You have answered the hypotheticals very reasonably, but she still does not have confidence. Is this just an unfounded insecurity? Or is there something about your behavior or your mom's that gives her concern? Again, only you can answer that. I would honestly just ask her and say something like, "These hypotheticals upset me, and I don't like to think about horrible things happening to either you or my mom. I feel like I have made clear to you that my mom is incredibly important to me, but in our marriage, my wife would take priority. It seems from these questions that you don't believe that. Can you tell me what it is that I'm doing to make you feel that way? I want to address this so you feel secure, and I also would like you to stop asking me these types of hypotheticals." How she responds to that conversation will be really telling of what's going on here. Story 7. Sounds to me like she read the Reddit post about the guy who didn't attend his wife giving birth because his mom was in a minor car accident and then got mad when her male friend took her to the hospital and held her hand. Of course, that guy didn't show up to see his wife or newborn kid until the next day after work. Story 8. Listen carefully. Make sure you fully understand what she is asking before you respond. If you are unsure, ask for clarification to make sure you are addressing her concern accurately. Be honest and direct. Provide a genuine and straightforward answer. Honesty helps build trust and shows that you are open and transparent in the relationship. Consider her feelings. Think about how your response might affect her. Try to be sensitive and considerate in your answer, especially if the question is about something personal or emotional. Communicate openly. Use this opportunity to have a meaningful discussion. If the question involves deeper feelings or issues, it might be a chance to explore those topics together. Story 9. Your girlfriend is a nutjob. Dump her while you still can. If you do not, these questions will only keep getting worse and worse, and she will start accusing you of various things. Story 10. Listen to me, man. Do not pick a woman that competes with your loved ones. She will manipulate and isolate you, even from close friends. This is a red flag for marriage. Story 11. As a woman myself, I say run. This woman has more red flags than China. Any woman or man that will even put you in these hypothetical situations where you have to choose between them and your immediate family is not worth a penny. She sounds like a narcissistic person that needs to be avoided at all costs. Leave before she traps you. Story 12. The hypothetical questions are usually born out of fear or insecurity. They seem pointless, but the deeper fear she has is that your relationship with your mom would come before your marriage to her. I think you should have an honest conversation with her about boundaries with in-laws, and that might comfort her. As a woman, there is a lot of fear about how mothers interact with their adult sons. There are countless stories about mothers-in-law who put their daughters-in-law through difficult situations because they feel threatened that another woman is taking their precious baby boy. It sounds like from your story that she feels extra cautious about this because your mom is dependent on you for help, and it sounds like she was a single mom. I am not accusing your mom of anything, but sometimes single moms latch onto their sons emotionally because they don't have an intimate relationship with a male partner. Maybe that's a fear for her? If your mother has always been perfectly lovely toward her and she is just being insecure, talk through it with her honestly about how her questions make you feel. But I would challenge you to consider if there is any legitimate concern of hers that you aren't seeing because you love your mom. Your girlfriend might be overly possessive, as others have said, or she's just aware of how many other women get treated by their mothers-in-law and is afraid of that given how dependent your mom is on you. Story 13. I know this is stereotypical advice, but I'm saying this as someone whose mother is abusive, incredibly controlling, and narcissistic. Don't marry her unless you can resolve this problem now. I don't know if you can. My mother never changed. This is a huge red flag. She is going to put her needs above your mom's in all situations, and it's going to create a huge rift between you two. She's already made this clear, assuming the story is accurate, and now she's coming up with wild situations so that you can prove your loyalty to her. Story 14. She wants to move in as fast as possible. She wants you to choose between her and your mother. Next, she will want you to choose between your friends and her. Then, she will want you to abandon every hobby you like to spend more time with her. She is immature, possessive, and jealous. Most probably on the narcissism spectrum. Do not marry her, and most importantly, do not have children with her. You will be in for a ride to hell. Unless she starts acknowledging her issues and seeks therapy, You need to run for your own safety. Story 15. The selfish possessive mentality she is exhibiting is the reddest of flags, my friend. I would think long and hard about this relationship if I were you. Speaking from experience. Story 16. The question is strange, but the way I see it, if my mom got hit by a car and I was giving birth in a week, who would I choose? What did she mean? Do I have to sacrifice one or the other, or would I go to take care of my mother? In a theoretical situation where I had to choose between giving birth in 1 week or attending to my mom who got hit by a car, I would prioritize the immediate medical attention my mom needs. The birth process is a natural event that can be managed with a planned support system, while my mom's accident would likely require urgent and potentially life-saving care. Story 17. Your girlfriend sounds mentally unwell. This sounds like a question I would ask if I stopped taking my obsessive-compulsive disorder medication. Is your girlfriend diagnosed with anything like borderline personality disorder, anxiety, etc.? She seems very possessive, and she may have some major attachment issues. If she hasn't already, I'd ask her to find a therapist. I'd let her know that this is not a normal question to ask, and that it's very hurtful and disrespectful. I'd also pay attention to any other signs of possessiveness from her. These kinds of things are red flags and can lead to abuse down the line. Story 18. This isn't a supportive partner and shouldn't be pitting you and her against your family. My ex did this and I called off the wedding because of it. It's been a tough road since, but I'd make the same decision 100 times over if given the option for a do-over. Tread carefully, original poster. Story 19. Dude, I'd answer that quickly. My mom, 100%. She's giving birth and has a higher chance of survival than my mother, who just got into an accident. That's crazy. She thinks you should ignore your potentially dying mother and watch a birth instead. It would be a tragedy regardless. Story 20. She is not a good person and likely has no empathy. Imagine if you were hit by a car, got disabled, and needed help. It's very unlikely someone like her would stay with you, let alone help. Does she show any compassion towards those less fortunate? To me, that's a massive tell of someone's character and a red flag. Story 21. Alright, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You know how I would answer? As honestly as I could, and if that upset them, tough luck. Hypothetical questions are dumb to get upset over, particularly when one of the subjects is involved and it means you have to not pick them. It is just stupid to do. Story 22. Due in a week? Obviously, go help your mom. Your girlfriend isn't actively having a child at that point. In general, though, it sounds like she is extremely insecure about herself. You either need to reassure her that she is a top priority in your life or refuse to play these mind games. Story 23. She is asking these questions because she is trying to figure out if you are overly invested in your relationship with your mother. It is important to separate and be your own man. Your mom has had a lifetime to get her act together. It is very, very common for single mothers to metaphorically consume their sons and prevent them from living normal adult lives. Your girlfriend is right to be worried. Story 24. Your girlfriend is jealous and insecure. In fact, if you love and honor your own mother, surely you will do the same for your wife. Be careful of red flags. Don't rush into anything at all, and surely do not have a baby. Many women even become jealous over their own children. Get the facts on this woman's upbringing. Are there dad issues? Story 25. That girl isn't ready to be married. She doesn't understand it. You don't disown your family when you get married, you share it. You should obviously go to your mother, who is injured, and have someone stay and be with your girlfriend. Do not marry this child. Story 26. Dude, easy, there is no need to answer at all. For starters, it's a dumb question, and she's immature for even asking. Tell her it's a horrible scenario that's pretty much never going to happen, and it's one that you simply can't gauge what your reaction or decision might be without being in the moment. Keep in mind you only have one mom. Other women can and will go. Perhaps she should go if she can't do some growing up quickly. Story 27. Not going to lie, the fact that she even asked this question makes me doubt who I'm dating. I get that wife is number one, but it still feels messed up. This is the same as would you love me if I was a worm sort of mentality. She is insecure and expects you to reassure her, which is normal in a relationship until it gets to this scale. She was going to up the ante until she found a scenario where you would be unsure, and now she is going to use that as a crux to extract reassurance from you. Story 28. I would answer with, why would you ask such a messed up question? There are so many things that are very wrong with the situation. She's trying to make you choose. At the end of the day, you can have multiple girlfriends or wives, but you only have one mother. There's a lot of insecurity coming from your girlfriend in this situation, so I would be very cautious about anything further. Story 29. That is definitely a messed up question. My answer would be, of course I would go to my mom. People give birth all the time and are perfectly fine, but mom might not be. Story 30. For that question, mom, without hesitation. If my mom, who raised me to be the man I am today, was possibly on her deathbed, I would be there for her and would stay until knowing she's stable before going to the birth of my child. A child and wife I can spend the rest of my life with. My mom dying is her last moments on earth. Strange question, man. She needs some therapy. Story 31. I'm a big family man. Maybe it's my culture, but if anyone tried to make me decide between my family and them, it will always be my family, and they are going away. Huge red flag if she's asking those types of questions. If my girlfriend asked me that, I'd tell her, I'd pick my mom without a doubt, because you wouldn't be delivering my babies. Story 32. I'd think again about marrying this woman. She shows obvious signs of dictatorship and selfishness, and trust me, she's holding a lot back until she sees herself married. After that, she will show her real face, and she will feel entitled to ask you to leave your mother and make all kinds of demands that she wants because she enjoys manipulating. Don't get me wrong, I'm not on parents' side, my mother-in-law is unpleasant and I dislike her deeply, but I have never asked my spouse to choose. He always found a balance and I was understanding, although I can't wait to see her gone. It's a long story. Don't judge. Your girlfriend's reactions only show the tip of the iceberg of the hidden personality you'll have to deal with for the rest of your life if you fall for it. I'd honestly postpone that marriage until a situation appears and you see how she'll act when you choose the mother at that time. You might be surprised.